All right, 5 minutes. I got my jacket on and my heater on because it's super cold for Taipei. It's like a refrigerator in our house, and I'm trying to stay warm. So, um, man, something I was doing this morning that is what I'm going to talk about is that my hard drive on my computer keeps getting full. And it creates a bunch of problems because I need to use like Photoshop and Illustrator, and if your hard drive's full, it won't process things. So I'm looking at what is filling up my hard drive, and it's all photos, just like tons of old archives of photos, photography. And so I've kind of been like going through all that and trying to like archive a bunch of stuff, delete what I can, and decide like what to save. It's a really difficult process because if you're somebody like me who's been into photography for a long time, you just have like tons and tons of stuff, and it gets really difficult to know uh, when to really get rid of things. I'm getting much better at it, and I have to because I had to get rid of about 100 gigs of photos on my hard drive. Most of them, they're all like 10 years old kind of thing. But I thought it'd be interesting with the 3 minutes I have left. I've used the whole time talking about cleaning up my hard drive. But I thought I'd just kind of reminisce a bit on my photography journey because it's kind of reminded me about, the whole photographer's journey, my photographer's journey, as somebody who's had an interest in photography since I'm little, and I thought I'd just kind of make a little bit of an entry of that today. So that's what I'm going to do. I wrote down, I got my first camera, was a birthday present when I was 10 years old, a Nikon FM film SLR. That was amazing. I used to carry that thing around with me everywhere and take probably horrible, ridiculous photographs, but it was a lot of fun, and it was such a big deal when I was 10. I used it a lot. And then, you know, I probably just kind of forgot about photography for a while, and then my freshman year of college, I got back into it. I took a intro to photography class. At that time, it was like using a dark room, and everything was like film, and that was really fun. Man, this is hard in 5 minutes. And then when I took another more advanced photography class in college, this time focusing on fashion photography, and I did a lot of ridiculous photo shoots then that I was, just trying really hard to do something cool. And, when you have like no money and no resources, it's a bit challenging, but I've always been creative. So I did some fun stuff there. And then after college, I kind of forgot about photography for a while because I was so focused on graphic design and work. And then it wasn't until I went traveling in 2009. I traveled for a year, 6 months in India, and then 6 months in Asia, and got back into it for obvious reasons, like travel photography, taking pictures of everywhere I went. But that whole time, I had a really shitty camera, just something really small. And so most of the photos from that whole trip were not very high quality. And then it wasn't until I moved to Taiwan that I got back into more art photography, collecting cameras, got into film photography again, and I was pretty into photography and film style photography from about 2012, 13 up until 2019. I think in about like 2015 or 16, I got myself this um, Fujifilm camera. It's a digital camera that's built to be used a little bit feels like using a film camera. I think they designed it for people who love doing film photography, but they want a digital version because processing film is expensive, and for somebody like me, like 80% of my photos just aren't that great. So I've been using this. I used this heavily for years. And then after about 2019, I got super into yoga, and that's my 5 minutes, damn. And, I kind of really lost my whole energy for photography, and especially my creative vision. I had been doing a lot of stuff that I suddenly felt I wasn't really sure about, didn't know if it really represented like what, you know, didn't represent what I wanted to communicate or put out in the world anymore. Not exactly. I mean, it wasn't really clear for me. And, you know, anybody who's into photography or, other creative pursuits knows that it's best if you have a real creative vision, a drive towards something, and that gives you clarity for what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to do. And when you have moments where you lose that, what do writers call it, like writer's block? There's probably something analogous for creatives, but just kind of have this like, well, I don't know now. I was taking pictures of this, then I was doing this, and now none of those feel right. And what am I doing? So I haven't really been into photography since then, and just focusing on other design things. But it's been nice looking back through all my old photographs and just remembering that whole journey and all the fun and the pleasure of taking pictures. And it's such a great hobby for creatives and artists. So I'm proud that I've done some work that I'm really proud of that still looks cool for me today. And I shared, some select images on my Instagram today. I don't know. I'm thinking like, maybe I need to go on some adventures and get back into the spirit of things for fun. Use my old Fujifilm. What is it called? It's a Fujifilm X100. Fujifilm X100. It's old now. It was cool and new when I bought it, but now it's like a old-timey piece of equipment, but it still works great and still takes really nice photos. Anyways, that's way over my time. Happy Saturday. Stay warm.